What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of my devlog. Finally got the chance to finish up my houses. So I'm just going to make a brief video going through the 4 models that I made and how I set everything up. Alright, so first I'm going to purchase a weapon because we're going to need that. I'll show you why. And let's get over to these houses. So I have this first one, 1-story house, and I know right away the exterior is crap. I gotta spend some time at some point working on texturing. That's just not really too important right now. The main objective was to get the 4 houses built so that I can finish up all of the furniture, add that inside the houses, and then set up all of the spawn points. Okay, so we have this 1st-story house here. Let's go inside. See, we got some rooms. You know, nothing too fancy, but got a nice basic house. And then we have a 2-story house, a little bit bigger. It's going to be the kitchen over here. Another 2-story house. Oh, I gotta add a mesh collider to that wall. And then finally we have another, a third 2-story house with a garage. Okay, so this would be garage here. I have to fix the flooring. Yeah, you see what happened. This part kind of got cropped out. So I have to fix that. Oh. Add a mesh collider to that. Okay, so as you can see, nothing too fancy, just basic house models. The one thing, or the couple things that I did want to show you guys is first, well, obviously the doors, how I set this up. Now you can open and close doors. Alright, so let me briefly show you how I set up the open and close door mechanic. So I have this script here. I named it open close door, and it's attached to every single door. And I have a couple variables at the top. I have a float for the interaction distance. I have a transform for the player. I have a vector 3. And I named it door rotation, and this is what's going to actually rotate the door and open and then close it. And then another vector 3 original door rotation. And then a public bool named door open, and this is just going to determine whether the door is going to be opened or closed when you interact with it. Okay, so in the start method, right away we want the door open bool to be set to false because the door starts out closed. And then we define the player transform as GameObject.find with tag player.transform. So we're searching for an object that has the tag player, which is you, and then getting the position of it. And then we are defining the original door rotation as the current rotation of the door, which again is going to be 0. And then down here we have an on mouse over method. So anything inside here happens when we are looking and pointing at the door. So first we have a vector3 called distance to player, and we set it equal to player.position minus transform.position. So position of your character minus the position of the door, or the object using the script, so the door. And then we write an if statement that reads, if the door is not open, or the bool is set to false, door open bool is set to false, and distance to player dot magnitude is less than or equal to the item interact range. So let's say we set it to 2 if it's either 2 or less, and we hit the E key. We're going to take the rotation of the object and add the door rotation. Okay, so I think I set mine to -90 on the, let's see, so I forgot, I think the axis is upside down on my doors. Yeah, so on the Z axis, -90 on the Z axis. So it's just gonna rotate it, open. Okay, and then we set that bool door open to true, because the door is now open. And then we just have find object of type audio manager. That's for the door open sound, and then we hit return. And now to close the door, we basically do the same thing, except we check to see if the door open bool is now set to true, which here we set it to true. And then same thing, distance to player. And input.get key down, key code E. We take the rotation of the door and set it back to the original rotation, which is going to be 0, meaning it's closed. And then we set the door open bool back to false. And then same thing, find object of type, and then return. Okay. So yeah, nothing crazy there. And then the other thing that I wanted to show you, the reason for purchasing the gun is I added broken windows to the houses. And this is actually a fairly simple thing to set up as well. Let me open up here, the prefab. Okay. Alright, and Brackey's has a really good video on this as well. I can link in the description. That's the original video I watched a while back to learn how to do this. So the first thing you want to do when trying to create this is obviously you need the original object, not the non-broken piece. So here you see I have just a regular basic window. It's one solid rectangle, and then you're going to want a copy of that object, and what you need to do is open it in Blender and basically just cut it up and make all of the pieces their own individual objects, right? So you see here I have broken window. It's the same size or same piece as a whole. It's a rectangle, but if I open up the object in the hierarchy, you see I have all of these little cubes inside the object. See, I'm dragging out each piece. Okay. And then you want to add colliders to each piece of the object. And then you're going to want to add a rigid body to each piece of the object. So what that's going to do is when this object is either set active in the Brackey's video, I think he has it set up where he instantiates, so he he shoots a barrel, and when the barrel is quote unquote destroyed, the original barrel is deleted, and then the copy is instantiated, so it's spawned in its place. In my case, I think I just have it, yeah, I have both objects already in the hierarchy, but the broken window is inactive. And then when the original window is destroyed, it just gets turned off, and the broken window just gets turned on. So it's essentially the same thing, but either way, you have it. When the broken object is created or turned on, all of the individual pieces that have colliders and rigid bodies on them are going to essentially hit each other and kind of bounce off, and that makes like a, explosion effect. So yeah, again, pretty simple. One of those things I feel like seems a little bit more complicated than it actually is. I know, at least when I first discovered how to do this, I really wanted to learn how to make some type of like explosion or like breaking effect, and I thought it was like this crazy process. And then I watched the Brackey's video, and it actually was pretty simple. So like I said, I'll link a description, or I'll provide a link in the description, and check that out. Probably explains it way better than I can. But yeah, and that is pretty much it for this episode. Like I said, really was just working on getting the basic models done for the houses. Not too worried about texturing and everything right now. My main focus is really to just finish up the furniture pieces in Blender, get them all transferred over into my game, and then basically build out the interiors of these houses, so that way I can start making legitimate spawn points inside the houses and not just have them how they are now, where it's just kind of like over here out in the middle of the grass. Yeah, so any questions, any comments, feel free to comment down below. As always, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more. Thank you.